Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's Wallsend history story. This week I am doing some outside videos, but what it is it's a collection of 3 different locations. And because I don't think I said welcome to this week's Wallsend history story on any of them, I've done this little intro video to go with them. So it's 3 videos from 3 different locations, and it's just a little bit of a wander around St Mary's Church, a wander around the Duffy Memorial Fountain in the park, and a little bit about a strange piece of leftover building on Station Road. So I hope you'll enjoy it. I hope you'll find it interesting, and I'm hoping that this little intro will add on to the ones that I've done, and I hope that they will all kind of merge together and not be too strange when it gets put together in one. But anyway, I just thought I'd do this little intro so that you know what's going on. So I hope you will enjoy the video, and I hope you'll find it interesting. And in case I never said it at the end of any of the videos, I do thank you all very much for watching, and I'll hope to see you all again next week. So here I am outside of St Mary's Church on Churchill Street. So I'm going to have a little bit of a walk around here. So this is going to get added to some of the other videos that I've done. Now I am trying a completely different camera for recording. Well, it's still my phone, but I'm trying a different app, and I've also got a different microphone. So I'm hoping that it's not picking up too much of the traffic, but I've got a horrible feeling that it is. But we'll see what happens. So I'm just going to go have a little wander round St Mary's Church. Hopefully I'll do a proper full story of it at a later date, but not at the minute. Haven't got time at the moment to get all the information and write it, so I thought we'd have a little wander round instead. So we're going to go in and we're going to have a little wander around. So it's totally changed from what it used to look like years ago, as a lot of people will probably notice, because obviously that's an extension that was built on, and I don't know when it was built on, but there's something on there that it says a date. 1986. So that's when that extension was built. So that's the entrance there, and you can see the bell tower, you can see the bells. So I'm going to have a little walk around the outside. Now I know a few people from Howden got married here and things like that, so you probably do remember that church entrance. And I also know that I have a photograph that was taken around about here when I was a bridesmaid here years ago. So this part is still quite nicely cut, but the rest of it is done for the wildlife again. Like a lot of areas today, that's how it is. They're lovely roses, you know what I'm like for me roses. They're not orange though, so I'm not going to pinch them ones. So I am going to try and walk right round, but like I say, it is a bit overgrown on this side because it's left again, as I say, for the wildlife. And there's actually quite a lot of wildlife in here. So as I say, later on when I've got a bit more time, I will try and do the full history of the church and do a little video like that. There are a couple of butterflies flying around, and I don't know whether I can get that one, but I can see that butterfly there. Oh no, it's just closed its wings just to be awkward. So I don't know, like I say, whether I can actually walk around this part, because it is a little bit more overgrown than I thought. But I thought of one, if I disappear down a hole, you know why. But I was aiming to kind of go around to the back of the church, but I don't think that I can. So I may not go that far. But we'll have a little walk a bit further up towards these trees. But like I say, oh God, I did just fall down a hole there. It is a little bit too overgrown, so I can't really get around that side, and I don't think I can get around the other side either. But I just wanted to sort of do a little bit to go in with the other videos that I've got, where I've got like different subjects all on one video, because there's not enough to write one complete story, or well, record one complete story about one place. So I'm putting them together, and I kind of wanted to include St Mary's, but as I say, it is a little bit more overgrown than I thought. But I'm just trampling a little bit further round. No, I'm not. It's quite high. That's kind of up to my waist, and considering I'm about 5'8", that is quite high. So I'm going to trample around in there. I'll go around the other way a little bit and see if we can get to the back of the church from there, but I'm feeling that we can't. But I hope you can hear us. I hope that the sound quality is a little bit better, because the other microphones were causing a lot of problem, and I couldn't just use the microphone on my phone, because that really did pick up all the traffic. Now I know that there's a sound reduction button on this microphone, but I've had so much trouble trying to get it to connect in the first place, so I didn't want to try and find that. So there's the sign saying St Mary the Virgin, Wellington, and it tells you the times of the Sunday services. The church is still used. There are often weddings here. We often see wedding cars when we're passing. So I don't think I can get round to this side. I was kind of trying to get to the back of the church so you could see it from all the way around, but I don't know that I can. So I'm just wondering. It's a little bit easier, it's a little bit less overgrown. You can get round to the back of the church a little bit more and see a little bit more of it. It's a little bit less overgrown, but it's still quite well overgrown. But it is, like I say, it's all to do with wildlife, biodiversity and all of that kind of thing. And that's what a lot of places are like that now. They don't basically cut the grass until later in the year, and they leave it so that all the bees and the birds and the butterflies and everything can get into the grass. I don't know what that was. It's a stick. I kind of for a moment thought it was a snake, but it's not. So that's a bit further round. I haven't really shown you much of the church because I seem to have been focusing too much on where I was walking and what I was standing on. So I've got round the back via a different route. That's a really bit of giant hogweed that I'm going to keep away from, because I know that's nasty. So there you go, we've got round to the back of the church, and you can see the windows there, but of course you can't see what's on them, but you would see it from the outside. So that's St Mary's Church. Like I say, it's just been added in onto a couple of other videos that I've done of a couple of other locations recently, and I'm going to do a couple of videos like that where I'm going to have a look round St Luke's Church. I'm also going to have a look round the Mem and the Al Memorial and things like that, and just put them together if they're not long enough to make one video. But I hope that you've enjoyed this little bit, and we are going to move on to the next location. So I shall see you in a bit, or I might not. This might be the end, who knows. So here we are in Wallsend Park, and I'm going to just have a little bit of a walk around the Duffy Memorial Fountain. This is part of what I hope will be a selection of videos. I'm filming them all in no particular order, so I will put them into order when I get back. So I'm hoping it's going to work. It's trying something different. So you might have already heard us say that, but never mind. So coming up here, you've got the little plaque which tells you all about the Duffy Memorial Fountain, and it also tells you about bowling. And surprisingly enough, when I'm filming today, there's actually lots of people playing bowls, so you can see them. Not something that I've ever really had a fancy to do, but I did recently actually find a couple of bowling balls at my dad's in a case, but not something that I've got an interest in. So here we have the Duffy Memorial Fountain. Now this isn't the original one, because the original one was taken down many years ago. I don't remember it, but it was here I think in the 70s, but I can't remember. But literally, I never saw the original. So this is an exact copy of the original, and it was put back in place when the parks were all modernised in around about 2013, 2014. Now that there used to be a bowling green, but it is now mainly used for the kids' play area. I'm sure I've mentioned that before. Anyway, as we come along to this part of the fountain, you can see fancy design. So I'm getting a bit closer to, and you can also see the lion's head. And I don't think this is actually functioning, but the original one would have done. I'm walking backwards down the steps. The original one would have functioned, and you could have got a drink out of the lion's head. There are some old postcards of Wallsend Park which show you the old fountain, so that was a lot of what was used to get this to be made to look exactly like it did. So there it is from the other side, and when you go round to the back, or the other side, you see that it is exactly the same as the other side, but there's also a plaque on the ground which you probably can't read that, but it just says this fountain was erected in affectionate memory of Joseph Duffy, Mayor of Wallsend, 1909 to 1910, by his sons and daughters, and it says 1848 to 1910. Joseph Duffy was the Mayor of Wallsend who actually died during his term as mayor. And obviously, that plaque, it looks slightly different to the rest of the fountain, so I think that there's a possibility that that is an original part of the fountain because it just looks slightly different, but it's quite hard to see it because the sun's shining so brightly. So, like I say, this is part of a selection of little videos that I'm going to do from different places, things where there's not enough, get the words, it's not enough to do a full video of one thing, so I'm going to put a few together. So that's the Duffy Fountain. So I hope that you've enjoyed that part. See you in the next bit. So here we are on Station Road. Strangely enough, I'm just filming a post box just because it's a relatively old one. But what I'm actually doing on Station Road is I'm going to go down to, I just fell in the grass. I'm going to go, well actually, I made a little video about the Buttle School and I'm just actually going to film it from the other side so that you get a really good view of the dodgy roof. Anyway, what I've actually come over onto this side for is to basically come down to the side of this building down here. And we've often talked about this on the Wallsend Memories Facebook group, trying to figure out what was here. Now I know that at some point in time there were buildings here, there were houses here, so I think that that's basically all it was. It was just part of somebody's house, but I just thought I'd get like a little bit of a video of it now and you get a close up just in case anybody does have any ideas. So you can see those. There's actually a nest in that one. You can see that those are actually fireplaces. They are what they are, fireplaces. They are chimneys and they come out at the top. So it's definitely been a house of some kind, but unfortunately nobody at the moment seems to really know what. You can actually also, when you get a better look at it, when you get up really close to it, you can see here this is where the joists would have been for your floors and things like that. And I know that it is probably 1800s because these little small bricks that you can see, and all the ones along here, they kind of tell you 1800s. It's kind of the style that was used at the time where you would have like normal bricks and then lots, like a row of what looks like half bricks, but it's just a bricks the opposite direction. So I'm just adding this in to another of the little videos because I just thought if anybody can actually find out what was here, if they can find a map from Station Road that shows you what was here, I'd really love to know. But like I said, it's definitely been part of a house. And at one point in time, I am pretty sure there were buildings all the way along here. There's no sign of any doors or anything because obviously it's the side of the property, but you can see, like I say, all the points where your supports would have been in the walls and things like that. You can see where they all are, so it's definitely been a house. So if anybody's got any clues, do please let me know in the comments below, and we shall now move on to the next location.